Oh, hey everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Tony, No Guts, No Gluten, with my new can cozies and my little QR code on the back. I don't know. You guys let me know. Would you want something like that? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. You got the, QR code takes you right to the channel. Perfect Christmas gift for somebody. All right, welcome back. We're going to be making some gluten-free cheez-its today. Gluten-free cheez-its. My niece Jada made some of these for me, and I'm going to do what I do, and I'm going to make them. I'm going to kick them up a little bit, do a couple things different than she did. Hers were good, and I'm going to use the same recipe and just do what I think needs to be done a little bit better. But hers were good, definitely, and I give her kudos for thinking of me and making me some gluten-free Cheez-Its. So she inspired me to try this recipe, and we're going to get to it. All right, we are going to use a combination of two recipes. One is off the Loopy Whisk recipe and website, and I got that online. So I just printed it out. So, like I said, we're going to use it, not really use two different, but I'm just going to add a couple more things to this, and we're going to go from there. All right, in a recent trip that we made to go see my niece Jada, it took us past Grandpa's Cheese Barn, where I got some aged cheddar, and I'm going to be adding some New York extra sharp cheddar together. And then if we have time, I'm going to do some smoked Gouda Cheez-Its. So I'll make time. All right, let's get started. I'm going to get started by shredding my cheese in this puppy here. Bring it down. So I just got the cheese shredder blade on there. And the one recipe calls for 8 ounces of cheese. So this here is 0.62 ounces. So I'm going to use the whole thing of this. And this is 16 ounces. So, go ahead and preheat your oven to 350. Wow, that just reminded me. So I'm going to make up the difference with the New York cheese. All right, so I'll get that shredded and we'll be back. All right, all we're going to do is turn it on. All right, got that shredded. Now we're going to take out the cheese, dump it into the bowl because we're going to use the food processor again. And we're just going to put the blade back in it. This we're done with. Okay, get that out of the way. Now, we're going to add our gluten-free flour. And it doesn't matter what gluten-free flour you use. At least I don't think it does. And we're going to use 1 1/4 cups. And then we all remember how to do the gluten-free flour. So we don't want to take the cup and get in there and pack it in. This is a light pack. So we want to add it in because it's makes it like more dense, more dry. So it's a loose pack flour. I'll get that in there. And then we will do the same thing with a 1/4 cup. And this is what differs from the loopy whisk and then this other recipe I'm using. So what we're going to do, and if your flour has xanthan gum in it, you can omit this part, but I always add extra xanthan gum just because I found that, and that's a personal preference in my baking. So we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon. And then we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to actually sprinkle some salt on top of this also at the end before we bake it. Because I think when I made this the first time, it was missing something. It wasn't as salty. So I don't want to add more salt in here. I just want to sprinkle some more right before we're going to bake it. And then we're going to add four teaspoons of very cold butter. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is almost like a pie crust with what we're going to do with the butter. We're just going to since we're using a food processor, you can just slice it in there. Doesn't have to be chunked. And then we're going to add some garlic powder, which is a 1/4 teaspoon, and some paprika. Which is also a 1/4 teaspoon. All right, so we'll get those out of the way. And then we're just going to go ahead and pulse this a couple times. Trying to get everything chopped up, mixed together. right. Now we're going to add the cheese. Let's see. Okay. Go ahead and add that in there. Give it a couple pulses. Okay, a couple more pulses, and then we're going to add some water. Okay. Just going to feel like down in, just be careful of the blade. Okay. So 2 tablespoons of water. 2 teaspoons of water, sorry. And we'll just go down this way. Let's go ahead and put it on. I got some ice water. And then you may add a little bit more. All right, so see how it's starting to form like a dough? That's what you want. All right. That's what you want. So we don't have to add any more water. All right. Now I'm going to go get this all cleaned up so we can roll this out. I'll be right back. All right, you want to carefully dump it out so you don't get cut by the blade. And then just put this in a ball, just like a big Play-Doh. And then if you don't have one of these silicone mats, I would get one. I got this one on Amazon. It's not going to allow your dough to stick. Just trying to get all the good pieces of cheese. All right. So go ahead and divide this in half, because we're going to do half at a time. Or if you want to do smaller batches, look at that. Looks like cheez-its. It's going to smell like it too once we start baking. If you want to do smaller batches, cut it in fourths, in quarters. And then if you wanted to pop these in the refrigerator while you're rolling this out, you can do that also. No rules against not doing it. So we'll go ahead and put that in the refrigerator while we're rolling this one out. Okay. Now we got some room. And you want this as flat as you can get it. Now, if you wanted to throw some flour down here, you can also, but I don't think you need to. Just go ahead and roll it out. As thin as you can, because the thinner crackers are going to be the better crackers. Now, if some rolls off, just go ahead and then the more that you go through on one roll, the better. So you can always trim this square if you want. See where I stop there? Just go ahead and roll through. And when you can start seeing through, you know that it's rolled out thin enough. And then if it tears, just go ahead . All right. I think that's pretty good. Again, if it tears, just replace your divots. All right. So, I mean, if you wanted to, like I said, you can square this up a little bit. And then what I have is I can't find. So just get yourself a little spatula. Okay, then these pieces can be added to the next one. If you have one of these fluted edges, thingies, you can use that, or a regular pizza cutter. So then you have to decide how big or small you want them. So just gonna eyeball these up. And you want to try to get them the same size, because the baking, that's not the right size, but yeah, you want it baked at the same time. They don't have to be perfect. And just imagine how big the Cheez-its are. And then to make the little holes, you just want to give yourself a wooden skewer. Then with the flat point, just take them in and make little holes in them. If you wanted to make them nice and pretty, go ahead and take your time, but I think these are probably too big. Not centered, but and then when you go to lift them off, they're gonna look a little different. So now the oven's preheated. You're gonna take your parchment paper, rip you off a piece. Then if you wanted to fold them down so nothing sticks out, and then turn it upside down. You can do that too. And then just take your spatula and then lift them up. And they're not going to be assembly line perfect. And then take them and transfer them over. All right, once I get them all on, I'll be back. All right, so now they're all cut out and on the baking sheet. Just gonna take a little bit of salt. Just go over very little dusting. All right, now throw them in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. All right, we're going to start off with, we're going to check them in 9 and then we'll go from there. So see you in 9 minutes. All right, while those are baking, we'll get the other one started. Basically the same way. Roll them out as thin as you can. This one start rolling them out that way. And once we start rolling them out, we'll get them try to do it as a square if you can. All right, now I got it rolled out. Basically, we're going to do the same thing. Just shape it up a little bit. All right, now we're going to make these a little bit bigger. And if you had a roller and you wanted to get exact, you can do that too. Yeah. So then we'll do the same thing. Poke holes in them. Then I guess if you wanted to do this after you get them on the parchment paper, you can do that too. But when you have one in the oven and you're trying to get the next one ready to go in, you kind of do the best you can. All right. Basically, we're going to do it the same way. I'll bring it back when they're done. All right, these are the ones that just came out of the oven. So we're going to let them cool, and we're going to get this one on the paper and get it going. All right, second one out, going in the oven. All right, the first batch is cold. This is more or less a taste, batch. Make sure we got everything right. Damn. Now that's a Cheez-It. If I ever had a Cheez-It, and I've had Cheez-Its. Mm-hmm. That's the killer. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that one's going. We still got 2 more batches to do. And I'll bring you back when everything's done. All right. That's there's one more batch in the oven. Has about a minute left. But that's about what it made. I mean, it's only 8 ounces of cheese and a cup and a quarter of flour. So doesn't make a whole lot, but you'll definitely be making these again and again. I mean, these are cheese-tastic.
They are really good. Non-gluten-free here. They are really good.
And don't forget to coat them with a little bit of salt before you put them in the oven. I think that makes the world of difference. And if you don't know who that voice was, that was Kelly. I hire her to come and do my dishes.
Yeah.
But she eats all my gluten-free stuff for free, so.
I can't cook.
All right, well, that's the last batch there. And I made a special Cheez-It. I did write Cheez-It on there. It's the last of the dough, so I just got tired and just made a big ass Cheez-It. Maybe I'll make them this big from now on. All right, well, let me grab this out of the oven before I sign off. All right, that was one big ball of dough. Losing my papers here. One big batch or one big ball of dough in fours. Rolled it out. I did probably about 4.5 sheet pans. You can make them bigger. You can make them. I wouldn't make them any smaller. I mean, I think that's just the perfect size there. So I'm gonna enjoy my nice root beer, my Mug Zero, in my brand new koozie with the code on the back. Scan it, and it takes you right to the website or the YouTube channel. So here's to you guys, and hopefully you make these Cheez-Its if you're gluten-free. Even if you're not, make them. Use regular flour. They're so much better than the Cheez-Its you get in a box. This doesn't have all that other stuff. There's cheese, water, flour, xanthan gum, garlic powder, and paprika and salt. So, all right, cheers. Nice and cold. Till next time, thanks for watching. No guts, no gluten. And I'm going to do a product from a place in Columbus, Bake Me Happy. I'm going to try one of these. They're zebra cakes, or King Dong. That sounds so dirty, but they called it, not me. All right, I'm going to review that on the next video. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.